ValveTime.net.
Hi, and welcome to the ValveTime News. Each week we'll bring you the biggest talking points regarding Valve and the community. Now the news. A seemingly minor update on Dota 2 on Thursday of this week eventually unleashed what is likely this year's biggest Valve headline. The patch introduced the Dota 2 Workshop Tools Alpha, an in-development SDK which can be used to create custom game modes and other mods for Dota 2 ahead of the upcoming Steam Workshop support. This wasn't any old source SDK, however, as it quickly became apparent that the brand new version of the Hammer editor included with the tools was actually running many features associated with the long-awaited Source 2 engine. The new version of Hammer features an entirely overhauled interface and a huge number of new tools, including superior geometry manipulation, better map compiling, and the all-new tile editor, which allows users to quickly and easily construct Dota 2 maps to form gameplay spaces with little effort. The tools aren't limited to just Hammer, however, as the new version is accompanied by several exciting programs, including a brand new command console, built-in model, material and particle creators, and a soon-to-be-released sound editor. Based on Gabe Newell's comments during his Reddit AMA earlier this year, these tools are being included to help increase the productivity of content creation, something which should allow both modders and developers alike to iterate in a modular fashion superior to that of Source 1. Obviously, we're just scratching the surface of the full number of tools and new features included with the new Hammer editor, so be sure to check out the recently updated Valve development wiki if you're looking to get stuck in. Given how much of the story has blown up over the past week, you probably already heard that the Dota 2 Workshop Tools Alpha actually feature a version of Dota 2 running on the Source 2 engine, as shown by the fact that the development version supports DX11, 64-bit systems, and 8 CPU cores. While it is true that the new version of Hammer runs on a basic version of the Source 2 engine, it's a bit of an overstatement to call this a soft launch, as only a very small number of the core features known to exist within the next-gen engine are currently included, almost all of which are restricted to the development tools themselves. However, this is still an extremely exciting development which we feel will definitely lead to the release of a more full-fledged version of the engine sometime in the next year or so. What is more interesting, however, are the numerous pieces of information featured within the files of the Workshop tools, as they support numerous theories spread over the past few years. As shown by the fact that the new Hammer supports both the new level format, known as VMAP, and the older Source 1 version, known as VMF, it would appear the Source 2 tools are backwards compatible with Source 1 as originally suspected. This would, in theory, make it easy for Valve to port many of their popular currently supported titles over to Source 2 at some point in the future, even if newer titles are likely a priority within the company. This has essentially already been accomplished with Dota 2, as the current version of the development tools allow community modders to create complex mods, maps, and scripts within the new version of Hammer before loading them up in the ported version of the game. The Steam Workshop now supports the uploading and sharing of Dota 2 mods. You just can't access them publicly, forcing modders to test them amongst themselves and their friends for the time being. With Gamescom coming up this week, there's been a lot of discussion amongst the community regarding whether Valve will announce a new game or show off more of the Source 2 engine at the event. Given that Valve's booth is only listed as being focused on the Steam controller, it's not exactly likely, but who knows? We're not going to fully count it out this time, it's just not very likely. After some initial problems for users trying to run the new SDK on systems with AMD processors, a Day 1 patch released on Thursday fixed the issue while also resolving several other known crash issues. Given that the tools are still in the alpha stage of development, expect to see more frequent updates like this in the future before the upcoming release of the full Dota 2 custom lobby support sometime in the future. Shortly before our last roundup aired, Valve announced that they would be adding a variety of new Dota 2 merchandise to the Valve store after debuting at the International 2014 last month. The newly added items are mostly clothing, peripherals, and toys, including Meepo's cowl, the logo beanie, the Crystal Maiden pint glass, the Pudge Hook bottle opener, and the 2014 Hero roster post, all of which are added alongside the Series 2 blind box plushies and the Demi Heroes set, both of which sold out within a matter of days. It's not quite clear when either series will be back in stock, but it was also revealed Valve's Gamescom booth would also be selling leftover merchandise from TI4, including the plushies we just mentioned. If you're looking to get your hands on any of the t-shirts or posters from the event, you may want to head on over to the WeLoveFine website, as the entire collection of Steam Workshop contributed items can be found in the dedicated Designs from the Steam Workshop section. Shipping costs might be a little pricey for those of you living outside of the United States, but it might be worth it to get your hands on some of these really cool designs. Remember Taito's Japanese arcade port of Left 4 Dead we told you about a few months back? Well, it looks like the Asian gaming scene really can't get enough zombies these days, as earlier this week, Valve publishing partner Nexon announced Counter-Strike Nexon Zombies, a new free-to-play spin-off set to be released exclusively on Steam and PC in the third quarter of this year. The game, which will likely be heavily based off the Zombie for Darkness mode within Nexon's Counter-Strike Online series, will likely introduce countless undead into the classic CS formula. A variety of new weapons, maps, and game modes will be used to diversify the gameplay experience by adding new layers of strategy as players attempt to avoid fast-moving zombies while still trying to complete objectives in a competitive environment. It's been announced that the tried and tested hostage rescue and bomb defusal game modes will both return, just with a few more zombies this time around. While the game will be distributed on Steam as a free-to-play title, the game is not officially made or published by Valve in any way. They're merely loaning the license to Nexon, who are developing it relatively independently. So don't worry, Counter-Strike Global Offensive isn't going anywhere. Currently, no solid release date has been announced for Counter-Strike Nexon Zombies, but the Q3 release window has us thinking the game will ship sometime before Halloween, possibly in mid-October. It sounds like an interesting way to mix up the classic Counter-Strike setup by making it a more casual and approachable format, but we'll just have to wait and see how this one turns out. An update to Counter-Strike Global Offensive released on Monday evening revealed the Pick'em Challenge, a new minigame centered around the CSGO Championship at ESL One Cologne 2014. Acting like Dota 2's compendium prediction system, the Pick'em Challenge allows Counter-Strike players to use team stickers to place bets on which teams they feel will win each individual stage of the 4-day event. For participating and successfully predicting the outcome of each match, players are awarded various amounts of points, such as 3 for the group stages, 6 for the quarterfinals, and 8 for the semi and grand finals. These points are then tallied at the end of the tournament to determine which Pick'em Challenge trophy level should be awarded to the player. Trophies will be displayed on a player's CSGO profile and their Steam badge list similarly to the Operation coins or crafted game badges. Badges are awarded in 3 different varieties, including bronze, silver, and gold, which can be received by scoring 25 points, 50 points, or 75 points respectively. While it's not quite a full compendium, the Pick'em Challenge is an interesting new take on prediction-based betting and will be available for the full duration of the ESL One Cologne 2014 CSGO Championship from August 14th through the 17th. Also, we imagine the Pick'em will return in the future for more competitive Counter-Strike events, just like Dota 2's compendium system, which is now adopted for third-party tournaments. Another CSGO update, released on Friday evening, introduced a bunch of new functionality for GoTV, ahead of next week's ESL One Championship. The new tools have brought GoTV a lot more up to par with Dota 2's Dota TV, allowing in-game spectators to listen to commentators within the game engine, extra options for camera control, and more information panels for spectators during official matches, amongst a number of other bug fixes. Hopefully these new additions should make watching the ESL One Cologne 2014 matches a little bit more enjoyable for those looking to check them out. Despite having an entire new stage added to Cactus Canyon last week, this week's Team Fortress 2 update instead focused on adjusting the size and layout of minor areas in stages 1 and 2. Health and ammo kits and respawn timers were adjusted once again for both stages, leaving Stage 3 completely untouched since its introduction, likely to provide more time to acquire sufficient feedback data. Asteroid was also updated, although with even fewer changes than last week, most of which focus on minor tweaks such as the widened path for the left side spawn and an adjusted health kit near the Class C robots. Continuing the new tradition, this week's patch introduced a new song from the expiration date short known as Stink Lines. The song will randomly play on the main menu and can also be taken out of the files if you want to listen to it outside of the game. A new Steam Client beta update released on Thursday has overhauled the color scheme and visual design of the desktop Steam client, bringing it up to date with the style used inside Big Picture mode. The new style focuses on soft blues and slightly sharper icons and text, making it the first real visual change to the larger Steam interface in a number of years, outside of skinned mods that is. It all still operates more or less the same, it just looks prettier. The same beta update also added the option to hide games from within your library via the Set Categories menu. Hidden games will then not show up unless a new hidden filter is selected. To take part in the Steam Client beta, simply select it from the beta participation option within the account section of the Steam settings. And that about wraps up another week of Valve news. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. If you enjoy our content, be sure to share our videos with your friends and to rate our Dota 2 announcer pack positively over on the Steam Workshop. Thanks for watching and bye for now.